Hello, we're the Kobold Cafe. This is another episode of Omega Illocution, running GURPS. Lots of points. I'm Luke, I'm GM in this one. With us today we've got Everoth.
Hello, I am Everard. Playing for you today El Pollo Loco, also known as David.
David.
And a restaurant chain.
Yes.
What does David sell? What can you buy at that restaurant chain?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Roasted chicken roastisserie.
We've also got James.
Hey, I'm James. I'm playing Garth, the non-meta, this meta craziness.
The filthy hippie. Look at him.
Not a hippie. He's got way too many guns to be a hippie.
Oh yeah, but his look at it. Ew. You can smell him through that picture.
Yeah, he can.
We've also got Jared.
Hey, I'm Jared. I'm playing a man who accidentally blinded everyone once.
I think we might have lagged there a bit, but his name is Chan Yu, if you missed that. We got everything else, I think. Just not your name. Perfect packet loss. We've got Tara.
Hey, I'm Tara. I play S. I don't understand the need for warm clothing, so I'm probably gonna freeze to death.
You could hide in Garth's dirty dreadlocks. He'll have a hat on. It'd be nice and cozy in there if you can stand the smell. And then
Probably.
finally, probably.
So yeah, they're probably wearing something warm like a hushanka, which you can hide into.
And finally, we've got Z Warrior.
Hey, I'm the warrior. I'm playing Arambre, the blood-sucking mist.
And I did some research on Arambre. I was curious as to blood monsters in the Antarctic. Which direction does your temperature tolerance go? Have you got it spread evenly on both sides at 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 55 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Fun note, you might be up to 4 degrees Fahrenheit outside of your comfort zone in Antarctica. So you know, it's going to be hideous. So cold. But last session, you had a chat with a very creepy fella that you met. Trying to free some metahumans, much like you were. He was super creepy about it, though. You didn't fully trust him. He had an invisible pal with him, and in an effort to catch a glimpse of the invisible person, Chan Yu accidentally blinded a bunch of people. Shit kind of went off. I do recall
I became the modern version
the modern version of.
Orpheus.
In that, I thought that was Morpheus. No.
I thought he was talking about Dr. Orpheus.
Orpheus, the Greek hero who went to rescue the woman he loved from what's it called? Hades, and he was allowed to, but he was told he couldn't look back at her while leaving, and then he snuck a glimpse while leaving, and
Total schmuck, like at the very end. Too. It wasn't like, oh, this story pisses me off. Sorry.
You got Terror all riled up on Orpheus.
I just heard Dr. Orpheus!
I love Doctor.
Yeah, no, he wasn't allowed to look at her while they were leaving Hades, and he didn't do it. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And the very last damn second, like literally inches out from the exit of Hades, it's like, you know what? I think now's the time to look.
Was he wrong?
And then, no, he was right. But then she got sent back into Hades because he wasn't allowed to look. Ah, that story. Freaking Greeks, man. Freaking Greeks.
So Chan Yu did that with an invisible dude, blinded himself and a bunch of other people. It was short-lived though, and Garth's grenade launcher kind of diffused the situation somewhat, somehow. And you flew to a very rich guy's chateau in the south of France, where all your sleepy metahumans woke up and proceeded to enjoy freedom. And I think we left it with them coming and telling you that they'd got word, and you need to head to Antarctica to rescue Chozon, the person that is going to help them start this brave new country, safe for metahumans. The situation's still pretty rowdy at the manor. I think most of you have had about a few hours rest, the ones that need it.
I do.
Yeah, so it'd be evening at this point, possibly, like 5 p.m.-ish.
I'm sleeping in what's her name's pocket.
The girl, Kate.
Yep.
I think she's been asleep most of the day as well. But she's up and about at the minute. She's in the living room being told some stories by a heavily tattooed, bald man who's big and beefy, and occasionally, like, blows smoke out of his nose even though he's not smoking anything.
Fun.
You'd all be fed. There's serving staff here, serving to everyone. They showed up around about lunchtime for anyone that were awake. And got straight to work. They're doing the best to keep business faces on, but the whole situation's a bit shocking to them. And you'd all get gathered up by Richard at some point in the main room. Like, right, okay then, so I think I mentioned Antarctica this morning.
You did that.
Chozon's there. He works in a research station. It's called Plateau. He's got a file with some notes on that he'd show to everyone. Show to everyone!
Ooh.
That's a picture that were taken in 1968, so that's about as up to date as you can get. It comprises a 8 by 23 meter cabin area with a tower to one end. There's 5 permanent Navy personnel there, including a US Navy doctor who's in charge of the whole base, and then 2 research scientists, one of whom is Chozon, and the other they think is also a metahuman, but only based on the coded messages they've received from Chozon.
Okay.
He's kind of been sequestered into working there by the US Navy. He's doing it very much against his will, and he's been there for about 18 months now. Leonard's been there for 4 years, apparently. There is a 3.5 kilometer runway, or air quotes, skiway, because you need a bit more distance to land on packed ice. And it's about 300 meters wide, that runway. The research base is at one side of it, and kind of directly opposite, there's these 2 additional Jameson huts where they store jet fuel, well, not jet fuel, just aeroplane fuel, food, other things. The route is got mapped out for you. You will have to make a stop in Antarctica before that place, and they've lined up an abandoned Argentinian research station that was only abandoned last year, has a runway that shouldn't be in too much disrepair, and will hopefully have fuel there, because they're working on stashing some at the minute.
Okay. That's a gamble.
It is a bit of a gamble. It's quite a short flight from Argentina to the abandoned research base, though. So, if you take enough stores with you from Argentina, there should be enough to get you onto Plateau. In the event that we can't get any to, what's it called? Agira Cerda? Agira Cerda? That's hideous. I'm sorry.
Loud purrs. Loud purrs.
But there's your flight plan. It's probably going to take around... Oh, it still says 5 days. That's incorrect. It's probably going to take about a week, 7 days altogether.
Well, that's a lot of flying.
Yep. That's that's if you don't sleep as well. I should point out. That's like if you spent all the time either flying or refueling.
I mean, I'm sure I'm pretty used to hitting the autopilot and then cocking out.
Yeah. Maybe you got some kind of makeshift alarm for if you're suddenly in a 180-degree nosedive.
Is the fuselage shaking?
Got a good will roll or IQ roll.
It's just like a jar of piss that you keep above your head. Splashes on you if you wobble about too much. We'll be able to get you some supplies for those that need it. Thick clothing. I have one outfit, or sorry, Lamar has one outfit here that would probably fit David or Garth.
Why don't you take
More
it, David?
clothing. How cold does it get there?
They actually had a record temperature just a few months ago at Plateau. Negative 44 centigrade, 48 Fahrenheit.
David would definitely get to. And even before it starts to get cold, he starts shivering and feeling more cold than everybody else.
Just in the living room of the chateau, thinking about how cold it's going to be.
Can I just mention that with wind chill, I've actually experienced that myself.
Oh, really? Cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't want much exposed flesh, I don't think. I will be
You
using...
frostbite, really?
Hypothermia in less than a minute. Or
Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
frostbite in less than a minute.
Yeah, I'll be using a rule from High Tech, whereby exposed skin will take HP damage at the same rate as FP loss from cold. Due to frostbite.
Yeah.
I remember in Canada, I made the mistake of reading a manga on my way back home once. End up coming back home with my hands with frostbite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Worst I've got is like when it's cold and you're laid in bed on your phone, and then you put your hand under cover finally and touch yourself, and you're like, ah! Touch yourself, like, yeah, right on the genitals. That's what I'm talking about, obviously.
If you boil water when it's that cold and throw it up in the air, it's frozen instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's going to be very cold. Chozon has kind of expressed in his latest message a need for urgency. He thinks something is going to happen there recently. They've been pressing ahead with schedule. And so I was wondering if you might be able to set off today, Garth.
Yeah, we can set off now.
Or... Alright, perfect. I won't be coming with you. None of us will, actually.
That's probably best. Less people to watch out for. No offense there.
That's fine. And then Tatoozy would speak up. And she's decided to stay with these as well. They've offered her quite a bunch of decent things for a bit of work that she's gonna need to do. And she likes the idea of this new place that they start in.
A place where she can be free.
Aye. Free to teleport about like a nutter wherever I please. Well, you know, within reason, but I'm no prick. And aye, they're gonna need me more than you will, I reckon.
Probably yes. Well, let's go do this.
Alrighty. Anyone got anything they want to add? Anything they want to steal from a French chateau?
There is a weird pile of non-steel stuff in the plane by the time when you guys get back in there.
General knickknacks that you've grabbed.
Yeah, like, you know, like those glass beads from vases or...
I know exactly the kind of thing you mean.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
button.
something that could be a good trade. And actually, that said, could I roll to see if there's a big enough way to maybe cut some time off our trip?
Like something you could fly a plane
Uh,
through.
Yeah.
You also found a giant bottle of peppermint schnapps.
Oh, I'd be into that. Although I couldn't get it. I mean, this is stuff that, you know, weighs under a couple pounds because that's all I can lift.
Yeah, but I could totally see you being like, "Hey, as we're leaving, could you bring that with us?"
But I am gonna feel around for maybe something that's big enough. Do you want a? Let's see.
Let me have a
What would
glance at your skills as well.
We've done it before. Hidden lore. I think
Yeah.
it was.
Lovely.
It was.
Yeah, give me a
Nope.
hidden lore roll, please.
Nope.
No. Yeah, no, that's a shame. Nothing that you could think of that you could fly a plane through.
Big enough to fit a group of people through, though.
Probably.
Should I do another roll for big enough to fit people through?
Not right now.
Okay.
You know, nothing nearby that you can sense, but you're aware of things that you could use. You saw exits and other routes when you were on that last way, for sure.
Oh yeah, that was a big ass exit. If we could go back to that spot in Lundo, where did we go out in Lundo?
You came out in a phone booth, I believe? All Harry
Yeah.
Potter style.
I'm gonna raise my hand like a child, waiting to be called in class as we're talking.
Should we all roll perceptions?
Yeah, negative size modifier. Someone would see eventually and be like, yes.
Or not my
Oh,
name.
no, yeah, it'd be like, green girl, little fairy person.
Do we need the evil bird?
I'd prefer to not leave it.
I think almost definitely you'd need some kind of aircraft to extract Chozon and Leonard if he's coming with.
Do we need the? Are we just moving people?
As far as I'm aware, Chozon hasn't mentioned any significant research documents he needs to hold on to.
Well, if we can go back to Lundo, I can get us there.
I go back to London, huh? That sounds like a brilliant plan.
Yeah, all we'd have to do is go to the red box.
Lamar's like in the corner, stroking Topper's dog's head. And he speaks up like, "I'm afraid there won't be any returning to Lundo. The airports have been closed today. Probably due to yesterday's little bit of fun, but they've finally decided to close all borders, given the current climate."
Well, let me ask some trees around. I could probably get us there faster.
Could go talk to some trees.
I'm not sure I'm really into this plan. And then, yeah, I go to my plane.
Aye, it's already been fueled up. You already had that much, you know, like you've got a couple of tons probably of just almost expired army rations on board.
Probably, yeah. Okay, yeah. I start turning on the plane and just, you know, make an announcement at the back. Anybody who's going, get on.
Next stop, Morocco.
Fine, ignore me. I'll be there faster than you do. Pout in the corner.
Get on the plane. Make another angry
No.
tree.
No, I pout in the corner. Not in the plane. Unless someone picks my ass up.
Alright. Thinking about taking a different route.
I don't like that thing. It also takes forever.
Fair enough. Who's getting on the plane? Chan Yu, I feel like probably will.
And John, you will not have looted the chateau because the owner came in as a guest.
That's true.
Go to pillage your own chateau if you want to steal stuff.
Judgy. Bit judgy, Chan Yu, but okay. David?
David is just gonna take the jacket that was offered. Anything else that would a hat, gloves?
Yeah. It was more like a duffel bag of clothing and gear that weighs 15 pounds altogether, them clothes.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
boots.
he's gonna take those, but nothing else. He's gonna thank them very much for everything and wish them good luck
Alrighty.
as he heads back into the plane.
Okay, plane, there we go. I was like, the question, are you going to take the plane or the portal? I'm going to take the jacket.
I'm taking the jacket, bro.
Player portal. Coat.
And Harambe. I got back my FX macro just for you. Well, not just for you, but
Huh.
what do you think you're gonna do?
I think Arambara is gonna follow the ferry.
Alright.
Another zany adventure of the terrible pair.
It'd likely end up at the North Pole if you didn't go to Elp, though, I reckon, as well. So, that's useful.
Actually, that said, with how little people there are up there, it probably wouldn't be hard to find them from the other side.
That's kind of true. I'll give you that. We are a roll for hidden law fairies. Fairies can find people, and when people are very few and far between. They're very easy to find. Because on the other side, they stick out like sore thumbs. Especially when they put weird human things in the middle of empty, open nature.
Right? Humans are weird.
Yeah. Okay. So, we'll have a bit of a Indiana Jones moment as the plane heads to Morocco, then further south to Guinea. That'll take you until probably dawn the next day. Maybe not quite that long, actually. But overnight, you'd get fueled up in Guinea and set off to Brazil. And then, around noon, you'd manage to land, like, almost on empty vapors in Natal, Brazil. From there, you'd head south over the course of another day and a half to Belo Horizonte in Brazil, and then on to Uruguay. One thing I should mention, you're almost definitely listening to radio traffic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There's still a decent amount of civilian air traffic, and you're managing to slip into it quite nicely. Lamar Kipling would have given you some leeway
Okay.
by registering a class of aeroplane in yours' size to his company. So you do end up stopping at a couple of commercial airports and handing them paperwork, and they fuel you up.
Okay. Awesome.
And oh no, you're not flying from Argentina. What am I on about? You're flying from Chile, but it's an Argentinian research base that's abandoned in Antarctica. And yeah, so the morning of the 5th day of travel will be when you depart in Chile for your first stop in Antarctica.
Awesome.
All right.
Much flying.
Much flying, yeah. And let me see here.
I'll take time on this next roll. How much does a day or two give me?
+4.
Okay. By 6. And I have a rum break, bring up my bag of buttons and marbles and what have you.
Yeah, that's easy enough to carry.
Oh, and one of the big old statues that he has.
One of the big...
He's got to have some statues.
Yeah, he's got statues all over the place.
Oh, we're totally looting one of those, Rumbre. What do you think?
I don't see a reason not to.
Awesome. This will make good trade.
It's probably
Agree.
the second time that statue's been looted in its 3,000-year history. At least.
But yeah, if we can find a way, we'll go back to that like portal thing. We don't have to make a big show of it again, but
You can indeed get back to some kind of fairy nexus in southern France. It hardly takes any searching for you to find an entrance, and then once in, it hardly takes any searching to find a way to Fairyland.
and then we'll trade to get information on where the humans are, and then show up.
So,
However you want to time lapse that. Conveniently, maybe we meet up at the exact same damn time.
that'd be super useful, wouldn't it? Arambre, roll me IQ, please.
Thank you.
Success by 5. That's really nice. Yeah. So, you go into the South Pole-ish. Antarctica. You know that the first stop your friends are making is at a recently abandoned station. Where it is less cold. It's not entirely icy. And have either of you got search?
Search.
Yes, I do.
And me too.
Both roll, please.
By 3?
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you find a couple of options, and you finally think or you think that someone you've bartered with is pointing you in the right direction. But the problem is, it doesn't come out directly next to that place. You would have maybe a little bit of travelling through very cold place to get to where the humans used to be and where your friends are landing.
Well, if things get too cold, put me in your magic space.
I think that's gonna be like immediately.
I don't know that.
I didn't check temperature at Agira Kurda, but I can't imagine it's much warmer.
Probably not.
So alright, it pains me a bit to do this, but in an effort to cohese you and whatnot, I think I'll have I come out a few kilometres away from the abandoned Agira Kurda research base.
I will immediately shout, "Oh God! Oh, it's very cold! Oh, put me in your magic space! Put me in your magic space!"
And give me a HT roll, please, Arambere. I believe this should be at a -4 because it is 40 degrees below. Oh no, I'll get you a -3. It's probably only like 30 degree -30. Yeah.
Then it's on the nose.
Nice. You don't lose an FP, but you definitely feel yourself crystallizing.
Yeah.
You'll lose an HP as well because you're naked. You're all exposed, boy. But I don't think that'll concern you too much. 1 HP a second, shouldn't be too worrying for a blood monster.
That heals
Stupid
ridiculously fast.
nudist blood monsters.
Be a bit more open-minded, Chan Yu.
Blood monsters are people too.
You got navigation land?
No.
Give me an IQ check, please.
I actually have navigation land.
Then give me that, please.
Oh,
Oh.
that wasteland for a while.
Yeah.
Do I have luck in this character? No.
Dear.
That's perfect. Love it. So maybe we got there a couple days early. We got there a couple days early, but by the time we find it, they're showing up.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing you as lost in the Arctic,
Yeah.
trapped in the blinding whiteness of the tundra for 2 days straight.
Then you see a plane fly overhead, and like, oh, that looks familiar.
Yep. Plane flies quite low overhead, heading kind of southeast. You
Yeah,
follow
like
it.
probably after a few hours of walking and not getting anywhere, I remember I just fuck this. It just floats, doesn't move.
Dig yourself a little snow cave.
Yeah.
At least you had your peppermint schnapps in there.
Oh, I am. If we took the entire bottle, I am lit
Toasty.
by the time, like the entire time.
It's frozen solid, but you know, you can
No,
can
because
lick
it's
it.
in his magic space.
Oh yeah, it warms up just enough.
Is it cold in your magic space? Because isn't payload like a weird alternate dimension for you?
It's-
No, yeah, it is.
It ought to be just at like standard livable temperature because there is temperature tolerance ranges.
So it's a little chilly. So I take a sip to get the edge off, and like a capful would get me hammered. It's like I've had like over the past 3 days, like three capfuls, and just when he pops me out when we meet back up with the group, I am just blitzed. Roll some HT checks if you want.
Give me a pilot in navigation check first, Garth.
Garth?
If you're there, he might be collecting something. It'd be 15 minutes early if so. Yeah, you find the place. Easy to stay on track out of Chile. Over the sea ice onto the Antarctic Peninsula.
Great.
And you'd eventually spot this research base, and it's a pretty meager runway. So go ahead and give me piloting at a -3 to land on this dirty track that's carved out. It's not got snow on it. There's a good bit of valley that's not got any snow cover here. Wow, nice roll.
What people live here, Garth?
No one lives here. People stay here and do science.
Chan
To
Yu.
which country do they belong?
This is actually international territory. Like, everybody's kind of here.
There's an Argentinian flag visible out your cockpit window.
But this place used to be Argentina.
I see.
Uh,
They do not live here because of the cold, then.
Well, that, and, nothing grows. Everything has to be imported. Yeah, the cold. This is miserable frozen hellscape.
You see a blood
It gets
mist.
quite cold in the desert.
It does.
Not this cold. Not this cold.
Cresting that peak that you can see in front of you. A pink cloud rolling down the mountainside.
Huh. We beat them.
It leaves like a pink stain in the ice for sure. All the way down the mountainside. And I keep opening chat to try and roll my buttons. Yeah, Garth, you'd spot. You see the plane around the buildings. And with that roll, you also see signs of movement, maybe in the last few days, around one of these old sheds. Looks like maybe a helicopter landed, Garth.
Well, that's probably not good. I guess I will. I am obviously putting my combat hard suit on, if for no other reason that it's sealed with climate control.
Oh, you bastard.
Also, Chan Yu's gonna meditate for a little while and give himself temperature tolerance 5 or 6.
5 or 6, just going down. You bastard. You bastards. Yep. Chan Yu does indeed. I think 6 would be plenty. If you put it all going downwards.
Yeah, 5 is enough for him to be right around this temperature, being his equivalent of freezing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is wearing winter clothing.
Okay, so not too bad.
The jacket he wears has a winter lining.
Cool. So as you step off, you definitely notice that coldness. Give me HT rolls anyway. Everyone's will come out just about straight. So, don't need a roll. Oh no, yeah, Garth, you get like a +10, but you end up about +7. The temperature tolerance is interesting. Because for every 10 degrees below 0, you're meant to add an additional -1. But you get bonuses from things like Arctic clothing and winter clothing. But not a bonus from having temperature tolerance. So maybe you should get a bonus equal to your level in temperature tolerance?
Maybe just... That seems kind of weird.
It does, yeah.
Okay, 0 is roughly the... Celsius is roughly the... where... level of temperature tolerance that everyone has at the end. I think it's fair to just treat it as every 10 below your
Okay, yeah.
boundary.
I'd go with that.
Just go with, or is it Celsius or Fahrenheit?
It's Fahrenheit for GURPS, unfortunately.
Oh, below 0 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, so that'd be a well bit below your standard.
Yeah, I think that's like
So everyone just give me a straight HT check.
I think isn't where we're at pretty much level Fahrenheit and
Yeah, but our concern is around 0 Celsius / the negative teens.
oh
Fahrenheit.
yeah okay, so how many?
Does benefit apply for this role?
Yeah. It's to avoid FP loss.
Okay. Oh, I really needed it.
Your eyelashes, like, ice up instantly.
He is trembling. His teeth are crackling. He just continues to say,
And you feel
and
like,
sinking as much as he can inside his clothes.
yeah, like sharpness in your nose as all your nose hairs freeze immediately as well.
Every part that touches the wind goes into an immediate red color.
Just standing there in a full suit of armor.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, actually I'm gonna
You maybe, like, reduce the internal temperature a couple of degrees. Like, ooh, a bit toasty.
probably not, because this is like right at the end of
Oh, the suit's temperature tolerance.
the suit's temperature tolerance.
But yeah, it's a short trip to any of the storage cabins or what look like former housing.
Yeah, actually I am gonna go clear that housing real quick. Just make sure no one's gonna jump us.
All right. On the thermals and all the fancy visions, it looks clear.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I will get to fueling.
Uh-huh. In the storage container next to the runway where you found full tanks of fuel ready to be pumped. I think these storage tanks are like heavily insulated, buried in the ground slightly.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Fuel up then.
But you do find a radio and a cassette tape. It's a big radio. I should point out, like a huge backpack unit kind of thing. And the cassette tape says, "Listen to me, -L."
Okay. Go back to the ship and put it in the boombox.
I just wanted to check what day it were, but I've forgotten. So what did I say? 6 days after you set off from southern France?
I thought 7.
7.
So November 29th?
Yep. November 29th is the current day. As you stick it in, you hear Lamar Kipling's voice. Alright, I'm recording this on November 27th. The local time here in Antarctica is 7 p.m. and 13 minutes, and fuck me, it's cold. Alright, your fuel's here. There's spare winter clothes stashed in the living quarters if anyone needed them. And we also received another message from Chozon. It seems that someone's shown up. A big guy from the US. They're there now. No telling how long they're going to be staying, but it looks like they're in for at least a month or so. He says that he thinks he's going to be killed at the end of this. I told him that people were on the way. He said to be extremely careful. The radio I've left you is long-range encrypted. You'll hopefully be able to talk to me on it. I'll be in South America. Or nearby on a boat, at least. Give us a call when you get there. And then click. And a message.
Well, Poyo, let's go get you some clothes.
His clothes are already great. They're the ones that he got from Kipling's chateau.
He's probably responding with, "We think you can put on the right platform."
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Well, should we go take a look? There's got to be a place for us to land this thing. Oh, actually, do they have snow skids laying about anywhere?
Yes, you were provided with a set of skis to affix to your plane.
Okay, well, I will
Get to
get
work
to work
swapping,
on that.
affixing those.
Is it the type that the wheel like sits in a square
Yeah.
cutout, so you just kind of mount it around the wheel?
Mm-hmm. I think you just have to like put a couple of extra bolts on or something, like take one out the wheel and thread a bigger one through it or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not super complicated.
Give me a mechanic aircraft though.
automobile, heavy airplane.
Yeah, you can get that done in an hour at most, especially given your
Probably
climate
quicker.
control.
I've got all the tools and
Yeah. Yeah, like 10 minutes per wheel, probably.
okay. Great.
Do you give Lamar a call on the
Oh.
radio?
Sure. I say I'm gonna get started on those wheels, and I'll hand the radio over to Poyo.
He'll try to get the radio and see if he can get a signal to call them back.
Have you got
But
electronics operations communications?
oh, I don't think so.
Just give me an IQ check, please.
Nope. He's pressing
I'll
the
be back.
buttons and speaking, but not working.
You get it turned on, and you can hear static, but you don't really know what any of the other buttons do, and you're too scared to press too many.
He's like looking for the frequency, but he does not know what he's looking for.
Chanyu, what are you up to?
Observing Garth mostly.
Alright. Seems to be fitting skis to the plane's wheels. Remember, you've been in a very cold ice cave for a few days, so you might be enjoying being indoors right now.
Yeah, probably stay indoors for a while.
You probably went
Over my FP.
We finally got in.
Yeah,
Do you kick me out of your magic space?
yeah. I let you go for a fly or a walk.
As soon as you kick me out, I rolled out on the ground giggling.
At least someone enjoyed it.
The magic juice is magic.
Alright. Well, the plane gets set up easy enough.
We might want to carry this on a little bit. James is dealing with our the delivery driver at the moment.
I see.
This might be a good time to
It
take
has been
a
an
break.
hour.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Join us shortly. We're back. Alright, so if you're just joining us, there's been a bit of an Indiana Jones map crawl to Antarctica for some, while others went through the nexus of all fairy dimensions and passage to the human world. Could have worked out better. It would have been perfect if Arambre didn't get lost in the Antarctic tundra and spend like 36 hours shivering in a hole. But now you're all teamed back up. You've got skis affixed to your plane. What for the landing on pure packed snow that you expect. You received word that there's some scary US metahuman currently at the base where you're rescuing Chosen from, and Chosen expects to be killed within a month when this person's business there's ended.
And then Ever was attempting to.
I'm trying to use the radio, but it's a bit too complicated, unfortunately.
Yep.
Can I do one of those give it here moments and set the things and then get back to work?
Yeah, You walk back indoors so you can take your helmet off for a second, and you see there has been fiddling with it. And you get it set up.
And then I put my helmet back on and get back to work.
Alright. The radio starts buzzing, like as soon as he leaves David?
I click on the radio, and say, sorry, what was the name of the station?
You're at Agira Kurda. I know I'm saying that terribly, so let me copy and paste that.
Hello, this is the Akira Canada.
Not quite Canada, but close. And Lamar will be like, David, is that you?
Oh, Lamar. Yes, we're here.
So you've arrived. Good. All right. Good news and bad news. Chozon's still alive. Bad news is we've managed to take a look. We flew over a couple of days ago, and there's a cargo plane there. Someone's landed. It's a Hercules, one of the big dogs, C-130. Looks like they've unloaded a couple more skidoos.
So, in other words, we got company.
Just about, yes.
I'll go on.
I've left some maps of the place you're heading. You'll find them in the residence quarters.
I'll make sure to get them before we depart. We're refueling so far.
Perfect, good. Everything going to plan.
Any other changes?
No, we don't know who's there with them. But be extremely careful. If it's one of the US's top enslaved metahumans, then they're likely extremely powerful, and you'll need to exercise care.
We'll do. We'll make sure to retrieve Shoten.
The radio is encrypted. Range should keep with us while you're out at Plateau Station. And hopefully it won't be picked up by anything. But as always, the less communications probably the better.
Very well. If we have some trouble communicating on our way back, we get back to you as soon as possible.
Perfect. Oh, and grab a pen quickly. I need you to write down some frequencies.
He gets a pen and he's basically writing them down with both hands. That's just using the big gloves.
Yeah, and he gives you like a couple of numbers, and he says you can reach us on either of these. And then Chozon said that they're at that base using any of these frequencies, and he gives you some more. You might be able to eavesdrop on their communications. I don't really know what Garth's got on that plane of his.
Will do. Thank you for the information.
Over and out.
Over and out. When he hangs or stops the conversation, he's going to go to the resting quarters to get the files that he was told to.
Mm-hmm.
And also radio guard telling him what he just learned.
Mm-hmm.
That they got company, that they got numbers and stuff.
Aye, aye.
Great. We'll go get those files, because I still got another skin to attach.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I'll see you out once I get everything we need.
You'd find him super easy. I don't even need a roll. He left him out on like a dressing table in one of the cabins.
I'll get them on the plane, and on the plane I'll test one of the frequencies in time whenever I can, just to see what I can hear from the one that they told me they were using.
The radios would be too complicated for David to figure out on the plane as well.
Oh. I think he's just pushing buttons as he learns about the machine. And that's it for David.
Cool. Iss is wasted, rolling about on the floor.
Oh, just absolutely like, shit faced.
Probably like roll over and throw up like this weird liquid that it turns instantly into like moss and mushrooms.
I probably don't vomit. I'm just. I don't
You
think
can
that's
do
how
the
it
rainbow
works.
vomit.
Buzzing around and hiccuping and like jolting an inch into the ceiling whenever you hiccup.
Yep.
I feel like Tinkerbell gets drunk at some point in the Disney Peter Pan film.
Pretty sure you are correct.
Yeah. Not that you're much like Tinkerbell, really. Except for maybe baby thieving ideas. I feel like if Tinkerbell could, she would sell a baby. So flowery. Sorry, I had to stop to look at your picture. Wheel. Not much else to say for this place.
Great. Let's leave it in the rear view.
Alright. So it's going to be about a 5-hour flight, I think, over empty space. There's ice below you for the most of it. At various heights.
But
Oh, those frequencies that David's given you. They're short wave ones, so it's not until you get a bit closer that it's worth checking them out.
okay.
But when you think you're about... Give me a navigation again, please. Sorry. And I'm assuming everyone's on the plane at the minute. Maybe in a payload on the plane. Yeah. When you think you're about 2 hours out, is when it's kind of time to start checking them. And you can give me the electronics operation communications if you like. Yeah, indeed. The second frequency you try that they apparently cycle through, you pick up some chatter after listening for about 5 minutes. Alright,
Okay.
copy that. Heading out to the Hercules now, suited up. Major wants something he left on there, go and get it now. Copy that, don't take too long. Scientists are in the tower, got eyes on them. Good. Hey, you bring any porn down here? Negatory. Need me some porn, over. Carries on like that. Sound like US Navy, based on your experience.
Okay.